Good morning. It's time for our daily devotion. And today we are in Acts chapter 20. Uh, there are lots of historical events. Remember, Acts is a narrative, it's telling a story. And so a lot of what we get in the book of Acts are accounts of stories, situations, circumstances that happen along the way in these missionary journeys that Paul is taking. But every once in a while, we get this little nugget that's thrown in, usually a quote by Paul, and that's what I want to talk about today. In this chapter, in verse 24, Paul says, "But I do not consider my life on any account as dear to myself, in order that I may finish my course and the ministry which I received from the Lord Jesus, to testify solemnly of the gospel of the grace of God." I love the first part of that. I do not consider my life of any account as dear to myself, in order that I might finish the course. I just want to say to you today that I look at the life of Paul, I look at the struggles he had, I look at the stonings, the beatings, the shipwrecks, the snake bites, the persecution, the jeering, run out of town, and all the rest. And I think, man, if ever somebody had a reason to quit the ministry, to deny Christ, to turn around on his commitment and head in the other direction, to go into hiding and never be seen again. If ever anybody had a reason to do that, it was Paul. I mean, this guy went through just about everything that you can go through, including, by most accounts, most historians, most theologians, a martyr's death by beheading in Rome. And yet, his cry is, his sentiment is, his commitment is that I count my own life as nothing compared to the responsibility and the privilege I have to finish the course, to finish the race that God has given me to run. Man, I tell you, I envy that kind of commitment. I envy that kind of fortitude and that kind of absolute commitment to be what God has called a person to be. I've known a few people like that in my life, and I have to be honest and tell you that I'm not there yet. There are days when the situations and circumstances that I face, although not nearly as severe as what Paul faces, there are days when I think, is it any use? Is there any reason to go on? Is there a reason to continue doing what I'm doing? Am I really making any difference? Am I doing any good? And of course, the enemy loves to jump on that and bring about self-doubt and discouragement. But here's a man in Paul who, with all that he goes through and all that he's been through, he says, man, I don't count my life as valuable at all compared to the call that's on my life to finish the course, to finish the race, to complete the journey that God has set before me. And that journey is to tell as many people about Jesus as I possibly can. Oh, for that kind of commitment today. Oh, that God would give me that kind of dedication to his call on my life. And my prayer, not only for me today, but my prayer for you today, is that God will give you that kind of an attitude, that no matter who you are, what you're going through, how difficult things are for you right now, that your commitment in life will be that as a follower of Jesus, you count your life as nothing compared to the call upon your life to take the message and the gospel of Jesus Christ to others around you. So why don't you pray today that God will give you that kind of commitment? Pray for your pastor that God will give him that kind of commitment. And let's all go out together today and make it a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.